time to react to some news that came as a welcome piece of news to Hawkeye women's basketball fans over the last 3 to 4 years, as now former Hawkeye guard/forward Sydney Affolter has been named to the Iowa staff as a graduate assistant. We'll talk about the implications and some examples of some other former players that have taken on those roles, where they've ended up, etc. This is certainly step one for what I'm sure Sydney Affolter hopes to be a long career as a coach. We'll talk about it in just a moment. But first, a big thank you to Iowa Floor Covering, our sponsor for this video. IFC is located down in Bondurant. If you have flooring questions, you have a project on your hands, perhaps it's a flooring project, perhaps a tile shower, perhaps it's a new carpet in your living room, whatever the case may be, Iowa Floor Covering can be the resource that you rely on to get you through that project and make good decisions. Give them a call. 515-379-7000. That's 515-379-7000. You can also visit Iowa Floor Covering at iowafloorcovering.com. And by the way, use the /DIY to learn more about their do-it-yourself flooring. So the news that broke earlier in the week, former Iowa guard/forward Sydney Affolter being named to the Iowa women's basketball staff. Sydney will be a GA, according to a release from Iowa. That's a graduate assistant. Here is the official release from earlier in the week. Senior Sydney Affolter has been named a graduate student employee with the University of Iowa women's basketball team for the 25-26 season, announced Monday by head coach Jan Jensen. She says, and I quote, this is Jan Jensen speaking, "We are thrilled to have Sydney join our staff in this capacity. Sydney has been a tremendous leader for our program, and I'm excited to continue to utilize her skill set as she begins her coaching career. I know our Hawkeye fans will also love continuing to see Sid involved with our program." Affolter, who completed her fourth and final season with the Hawkeyes this past season, earned honorable mention All Big Ten distinction from the media and was selected as Iowa's Big Ten Sportsmanship Award recipient. She averaged a career-high 8.5 points and 7.8 rebounds on the year. She's a Chicago native, scored in double figures in 15 games during this past campaign, including scoring a career-high 24 points, knocking down 4 threes in a win over Michigan in February. She had 6 double-doubles, 8 for her career, had a career-best 15 rebounds twice. She's the 11th Hawkeye since 2009 to record 15 or more rebounds in a game. This is Sydney Affolter speaking. She says, and I quote, "I'm beyond excited to remain with a program that has given me so much. It's an honor to give back and support this team in a new role. I can't wait to get started. As always, go Hawks." The release brings out that she is going to be a graduate with a bachelor's degree in sport and recreation management. She appeared in 128 career games with 44 starts, and she attended this past April's So You Want to Be a Coach seminar down in Tampa Bay at the 2025 Final Four. So if you didn't think or didn't know that Sydney Affolter was a aspiring young coach, there you go. There's the indication. And apparently she liked what she experienced. She's got her heart set on this. Her whole family, I mean, they got basketball running through their blood. Her dad was a player. Her brother's a player. And certainly Sydney worked her tail off to be a major impact player by the time her junior and senior years rolled around. She was also a deanless student. She was academic All Big Ten. She was a great leader on and off the court. So many things that you can gather from this. Let me give you a couple examples of some other former Iowa players, and this is a very short list. We go on and on with former players that ended up as GAs and then ascended. But Tania Davis is the most recent example that I can think of. Now, we have news regarding Tania that also broke this week regarding her future. She's no longer on the Iowa staff, and so we'll talk about that. But she was on the staff. Remember, she was at Clemson as a GA. Then she went to Nebraska, Omaha as an assistant, and then got to Iowa as a full-time assistant. And it sounds like she's making a move perhaps to coach alongside recently departed Raina Harmon down at Florida Gulf Coast. Molly Davis is another one. Remember, she was a guard at Iowa, transferred in from Central Michigan, then went on to get a graduate assistant role at Evansville. My guess is that Sydney Affolter is working on a master's degree at Iowa. Oftentimes that happens as a graduate assistant. I don't know if that's from a rule standpoint, if that has to occur from an academic standpoint. But my guess is that's what she will be pursuing while she's a GA at Iowa, while getting that experience. And, I don't want to dumb down the value of a GA because I'm sure you could ask any coach, even Gary Close or Don Patterson on this show, the value of having good GAs, and they would just tell you about all the great GAs they had. Hey, Bo Pelini was a GA with Hayden Fry and the Iowa staff back in the day. But if you want to compare it to something in the rest of the working world, think about interns and the value they bring to certain companies. Now, she's not an intern, okay? So people don't jump down my throat for saying that. But some of the same duties that she's going to be performing and then learning from those people ahead of her. I mean, she's going to be getting an earful every single day. And she got all of that while she was playing at Iowa, but she's going to be getting it from a different perspective, likely breaking down film, helping bridge that gap between player and coach. And here's the other thing. My understanding is that she'd be able to be part of the scout team if need be. And how valuable is that, having a worker and a physical player and someone who is still in great shape running scout team and playing with some of these younger players? They need that leadership, not just on game day, but in practice. So having that young, especially with Tania Davis gone, having that young athlete who just graduated from Iowa be part of this team moving forward, I just think is huge. And hey, by the way, Jenny Fitzgerald, Jan Jensen, they both started as graduate assistants, I believe, both at Drake. So, hey, congratulations to Sydney Affolter. So happy she's making this move. And by all accounts, a great leader. And I know everybody wanted to jump on the Kate Martin coaching train, and I wouldn't be shocked at all if Kate Martin ends up being a coach. Hey, she looks pretty good so far as a Golden State Valkyrie. But Sydney Affolter has also been a sound player for Iowa. And oftentimes, Kirk Ferentz would attest to this, and a lot of the other great coaches out there, it's not often the most skilled or athletic players that make great coaches, right? It's the guys and girls that had to work as hard as they could and overcome some odds. Those are oftentimes the best coaches. So we shall see with Sydney Affolter. You also got to think she's going to be a great mentor to Emily Rodriguez, who I think has a little Sid Affolter in her game. So anyways, just wanted to react to the news, folks. Sydney Affolter has been hired as a GA for this upcoming Iowa women's basketball season, I should say. So congratulations to her, her family, and the Iowa staff. We'll continue to see how things shape up. A lot of change on the roster, a lot of change on the coaching staff. So it's good to have some stability returning, even though Sid Affolter no longer has eligibility. Folks, hit that thumbs up button. We appreciate you being here, taking the time on a late May weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.